air.
Yeah, there's no mic. There's no Michael.
So,
Really? I bet we could figure it out.
imagine. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Everybody else is for the same.
Okay. We know everybody else. Thank you. You want to look at it?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you.
Watch it get to like 30 degrees in here now. We're all gonna be shivering by the end of the meeting.
Nah.
But if you want, water outside if you want.
Okay, I'm good right now, thanks.
I feel it already. It feels
Some
so
cookies and
good.
fruit.
Oh.
Okay. On your way out if you want something.
All right.
Wait for that call.
Yep. Like watching a pot, waiting for it to boil.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Jason, you going to the Jack game this week?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I went on Thursday. I was there on Thursday.
Oh, must have been great.
Oh, so, I still don't have my voice back. And yeah, I'll be at the game on Sunday.
My cousin's flying in from LA and we're all going to the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I get there early.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hopefully be parked before 10:30.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Hope.
No. I didn't see him. My cousin went, but we downloaded his.
Funny.
So funny.
I know he's.
He's a hoot.
Concerned
His
yet?
timing is amazing.
Another minute, yes, we should be.
We are missing a light.
I heard, I looked up a couple of people that went to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
didn't know
recently.
that he was coming. He was here this past week.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ask her. We're waiting anyway.
Yeah.
I see.
And then maybe do we want to check on Fred?
He's, he's really good.
I know.
I don't know.
Hello.
I asked if we got lost.
Maybe we're being taped as it is.
Maybe the phone is not working. We had it that one time where the phone wasn't working.
We did have a power outage today too.
Yeah.
That was like for a half a second.
So it may have
Oh, let me see if I can get hold of it.
messed up. Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Fred. All right, thank you. All right, can you please rise and join the members of the Rybrook Police Department in leading the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening. Tonight is Tuesday, September 24th. It's 7:30. We just came from executive session where we discussed non-union compensation. Before we get started with the meeting, and actually I shouldn't say we just came, we were in executive session earlier. We just came from the hallway where we were having a reception for the police department awards. And before we get to our other agenda items, I'm going to turn the floor over to our police chief, Greg Austin, for the presentation of the Rybrook Police Department Awards.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending this evening's Rybrook Police Department Awards ceremony. As the mayor introduced himself, we're here tonight with Mayor Jason Klein, trustees David Heiser, Susan Epstein, Sam Orlingo, Assistant to the Village Administrator Greg Rivera, and Village Attorney Ralph DeMarco. Police work is a difficult job. And I just want to say this up front, that we are very supportive. We have a very supportive mayor and board of trustees in Rybrook, and thank you for allowing us this opportunity tonight to present these awards and recognize our police officers. It's important for us to recognize police officers because they go above and beyond every day, and I feel it's really important to thank the officers for what they do. The Rybrook Police Department is a New York State accredited police department, and there are 174 police departments out of 500 in New York State that hold a state accreditation. And the accreditation program is growing. In 2021, there were 160 accredited police agencies. So we have been accredited since 2015, and this is something that is very beneficial to us as a police department because it guides us to be a professional police department. Every day we work hard to be as excellent as we can, and we are committed to follow the best practices in policing. I want to thank the Rybrook Police Department Awards Committee, Detective Sergeant Eric Dangler, Sergeant Christopher Rue, Rybrook PBA President Sergeant Aaron Weiss, and Sergeant Dan Bruno. The committee is chaired by Lieutenant John Arnold. The committee reviews submissions for awards and makes selections based on criteria which is defined in our Police Department Procedure Manual. This is a special night for me as a police chief because I get to recognize these officers for incidents that occurred between May 1st, 2021 and May 10th, 2024. So we have two officers who were unable to attend tonight because they're ill, so I will just talk briefly about what they are being recognized. David Krajewski is being awarded a Certificate of Honorable Mention. On February 24th, 2023, Officer Krajewski monitored a radio transmission from the Portchester Police Department that they were in a slow speed pursuit of a stolen vehicle on Windsor Road in Rybrook. Officer Krajewski joined that pursuit and it proceeded down Betsy Brown Road to the dead end by Old Oak Road, where the person driving the car crashed into the guardrail and drove past into Crawford Park, ultimately getting stuck in the mud. At that point, the person fled from the vehicle, and Officer Krajewski and a Portchester police officer pursued him. The officers cornered the suspect. They tased the suspect, and the taser was ineffective, and they ultimately had to wrestle this person to the ground and take him into custody. For that, Officer Krajewski is receiving a Certificate of Honorable Mention. Sergeant Dan Bruno, in February of this year, investigated a case of, well, it started with a 911 call to the New York State Police where a person said that they were going to shoot up the Portchester Middle School. Police officers responded to the Portchester Middle School, notified the school district. The school district then put the entire school district on lockdown. We assigned a police officer to the Blindbrook School District, and Blindbrook went into a lockout. The detectives, Detective Rampola being one of the people involved in this, were able to determine the subscriber information of the phone, and the phone was a burner phone with no subscriber information, so we couldn't tell who over the phone. We were able to then ping the location of the phone and determine that the phone was located within the Portchester Middle School. And then through investigation that day, officers were able to locate the phone and the student who called in the threat. And that student was then charged as a juvenile delinquent in the school district. As you can imagine, any type of school threat like that is very concerning to everyone involved, and it's something that you want to get resolved as soon as possible. You don't want to be left not knowing what was happening, and through the efforts of Sergeant Bruno and the members of the department, we were able to get this solved within a few hours. Our next awards are for P.O. Elliot Asari, Detective Aurelis Lazales. So why don't you gentlemen come up here and join me. On September 10th, 2022, TD Bank on South Bridge Street called to report that there was a person who was currently in the bank who had attempted to open a bank account with fraudulent documents 3 days earlier on September 7th. Officer Asari and Detective Lazala responded to the bank and were told by bank employees that the suspect who was with the bank manager was asking how to receive cash advances on the account that she had opened a few days earlier. When the suspect saw officers in the bank, she attempted to flee but was apprehended in the parking lot. The suspect was charged with illegal possession of a forged instrument and was released on armed recognizance. For the diligent police work, investigation, and follow-up, the officers are both awarded with certificates of honorable mention. Now, we all hear stories of identity theft and fraud, and we never hear of someone getting caught and arrested for doing this, so this is particularly satisfying that these officers were able to get there, identify the person, and make the arrest. So congratulations. We'll take pictures after all. Detective Rampol, will you please join me up here? On December 28th, 2022, an employee of Green and Tonic in the Rye Ridge Shopping Center reported that she was assaulted by a customer in the store. Upon the officer's arrival, the suspect had left the store and the victim fled to SoulCycle for safety. The victim had a limited suspect description of height, weight, and clothing. The case was turned over to the Detective Bureau, and Detective Rampolla and Sergeant Bruno were assigned to conduct a follow-up investigation. By investigation, detectives located a piece of cloth in the store that appeared to be out of place. By looking at the customers enrolled in Green and Tonic's loyalty program, detectives were able to identify 2 witnesses who were in the store at the time of the assault. The witnesses identified the piece of cloth that was found at the store to belong to the suspect, and witnesses also identified the suspect's vehicle that was captured on nearby surveillance video leaving the area. Based off license plate reader analysis, Detective Rampolla identified a suspect, and the victim was able to pick the suspect from a photo array which positively identified him as the person who committed the assault. Again, using the license plate reader network, an alert was received on January 13th, 2023, that the suspect's vehicle was traveling on King Street. Officers located the car and placed the suspect under arrest. For their efforts, Detective Mark Rampolla and Sergeant Daniel Bruno are awarded a department unit citation. Officer Tavares, can you please join me up here? This is a particularly incredible story, and I'm very proud to share this with everyone. I don't think many people really realize what happened on that night. So, on October 2nd, 2021, at 10:30 p.m., police officer Abel Tavares was off-duty traveling southbound on the Hutchinson River Parkway. Just past the Lincoln Avenue exit, P.O. Tavares stopped to assist a motorist who was pulled off the road. The motorist told P.O. Tavares that there was a rollover motor vehicle crash that ended up down an embankment into a wooded area. P.O. Tavares was told that the occupants were ejected from the car. P.O. Tavares immediately ran into the wooded area to render aid to the victims. He first located a female toddler that was ejected from the car. He quickly assessed the toddler for injuries and brought her to the top of the ridge so she could be easily located by responding emergency personnel. P.O. Tavares was then able to locate the second vehicle occupant who was ejected from the car. This person had severe trauma to his leg, and this person told P.O. Tavares that a third occupant was still in the car. P.O. Tavares then located the third victim, an adult female who sustained head trauma and injuries to her torso. Pure Tavares provided emergency care to his victim until the arrival of EMS. All 3 victims were transported to the hospital, but unfortunately the male victim did not survive and passed away a few weeks later. The other 2 victims of this accident survived, and for Pure Tavares' quick thinking, trauma assessments, and initial medical care, he was awarded the Police Excellence Duty Award. Before we conclude, I just asked Mayor Klein to say a few words.
Absolutely, yeah. So, first off, I just want to thank everyone for being here. You know, not just our officers, but all the family members as well. It's great that you came out to help support everyone here. And I know it's, you know, through your support that they're able to better perform their duties. And, you know, we in Rybrook, you know, we're a small community. And, you know, some people think a sleepy community. Those of us who have been here a long time and those of us on the board knows there's a lot that goes on here. There's a lot going on in Rybrook at all times. You know, we really take our police department very seriously. It's something that we're very proud of. It's truly a community police force. And I want to take a minute also to recognize Chief Austin for the job that he does in helping spearhead the accreditation process when it began. And like he said, making sure that this is run in a professional manner. But we also know that the department has been in very capable hands. And you know, there's a lot to say about, you know, the difference between living in a community and working in a community. And there's more even to be said about having a role of police officer in that community when you're constantly being called on to respond to something, whether it's anything, you know, simple as, you know, having to help someone, you know, with, I mean, I'm sure you respond also to some of the alarms going off. But there are times when people are really in need. And we've heard some of these stories today. And you never bat an eye. You respond. And you respond in a professional manner. And you respond in a way that makes the community really proud to have a police force like this. You don't hear it every day. So I want to say it on behalf of the residents of Rybrook, thank you. Because some of the interactions you may have with them may not be the kindest, hey, why are you giving me that ticket? You know, but they really are proud and thankful to have the quality of officer that we have in Rybrook, to have the professionalism with which every call is handled that we have here in Rybrook, and to have the level of service that we have because of the effort that you put in every single day. And we really, truly appreciate that. I know as the board, we're a little more informed of what goes on, and we certainly appreciate all of your efforts. But I can tell you, the residents as well, what I hear from them, they're very appreciative as well. So thank you for everything that you do.
Sure. I'd like to say that I see a lot of you patrolling all the time, and I call because I like reporting things. So we are, well, I feel like I'm part of the force in a certain way. But I thank you. I know our residents are so proud to have you all on the streets, and I know that they leave their houses to you, and we let you know when we're leaving town, and we know that our houses are safe, our community is safe, and it's hard work. And hearing these stories today reinforces that. So I know that there are so many other stories out there. Sometimes it's good for people to hear that, to know how loyal you are and how hard you work, and we really appreciate it. You picked great officers, so thank you so much, and detectives and sergeants, so thank you again.
I'd just like to say thank you guys for all, and women for all your services. It's great. You guys do a wonderful job. Although Mayor Klein may say sleepy community, but you guys aren't sleeping. You guys are doing your job, and you're doing a great job. Thank you.
I was just going to say, while it was my pleasure to applaud all the members of the police force who were honored tonight, I'd like to take a moment just to thank the entire police force. Because it's the entire police force that, from my perspective as a resident who's been here for 35 years, makes this community feel safe and basically makes me glad that I live in the village of Rybrook. So thank all of you.
Well, thank you, everyone. This concludes the ceremony. Again, I want to congratulate all the recipients, and we'll just take a few moments to take a few pictures out there on the dais with the board. Come up, back to you.
So we should push the chairs to
Put
the
the chairs
side.
in. Oh yeah, probably to
Probably
the
to the
side.
side. I think to the side would be a better photo op. Okay?
So we push these just over a bit.
Go that way.
They're not in
You
the
guys are
front
coming
of-
around every side. You want to-
So stand right here and you'll get a really nice photo. Okay.
Or a photo.
Nice. Yeah, you can do it. Just feel free to move all the chairs any way you want. Yes, move them out this way. So come on over. Come on over. Here, we have to move this so that way. There you go.
Good. Anybody coming this way?
Yeah.
Get in, get in.
What? You guys going on? Oh, they're-
Come on, guys, Eric.
I was gonna.
Well, John should be up here too.
Yeah, we're.
Come on, John.
Please.
I get to sit on the end with him.
Yes, I don't get them.
Smile, guys.
I am smiling.
Would the rest of you like to get in there also?
Yes, you guys
Go
get in
ahead,
too.
everybody.
See now, I'm not sitting next to you.
Just move the chairs any which way.
Turn
that
sideways.
works.
Yeah, there we go. Squeeze. Suck it in. Suck it in.
Yeah, move to the side a little, and that way we can fit you all in.
Abel, stop touching the butts.
I suppose. Very nice.
Okay, now who's patrolling?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. No, no, she wants you alone, you can take one alone.
You sure?
Take it fine, what's the big deal? This is your night.
What fun is it if you can't be embarrassed?
Exactly. Not embarrassed.
Come on, Pops.
Aw, look at that, so cute.
Hold on, move the chair.
His shoe fit.
Hold on. Oh, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, I'll get it right now.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, whatever, just kick it. Okay. You got it?
I'm sure it is.
You don't want it now? There you go.
You dropped it, oh no.
That's it. Binky down.
All right, come on, let's go.
See him on his head.
Can you
That's
get the
what I want to
picture?
see. Put him on the.
Got it? You guys. All right. That's it?
Any other photos?
All right.
Anybody else? Come on, this is it. Let's go. Do it. That's what I would do. They get these?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of the awards.
No, I think sometimes that we should have, know what they're doing. Yeah, I hope that I made that clear, like,
You did.
they all, okay. Prepare anything.
Very good off the cuff.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
How we doing, everybody?
Yeah, doing good. How about you?
All right. Hey, they say Italy, someplace in Italy, they'll give you $32,000 to move there.
Oh, yeah.
Tuscany.
I just read that.
Oh, in Italy?
Tuscany,
Yeah.
32,000.
Yeah,
move to Tuscany.
They want people to move there, so they're incentivizing.
Now, the government's giving you 32,000 if you move there.
Yeah.
I understand. Wow, but it's someone who wants to start off.
Get you through the first month, right?
I don't know. Food's cheap out there.
I know. We scared them away.
The cookies
All right,
outside,
I'm assuming we are still running.
Yes, we are.
except we're missing
Okay.
Susan.
Oh, we're missing Susan. So as soon as we have all of our trustees back, we will continue. She outside?
All right.
All right. All
All
right.
right, ready.
All right.
All right. For,
Thank you
well,
for
for those
coming.
for those of you tuning in at home, thank you for the delay there while we got pictures done and everything back up. So we are going to move now into our regular agenda. So starting with resolution number 1, considering granting an extension of a PUD site plan for 900 King Street LLC.
Just bear with you guys with this.
Need mine?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Here you
Ralph gave me this round. I'll read off this.
go. Okay.
Yep.
Make
I
sure you
showed
have
this.
your mic up.
Whereas on January 26, 2021, the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees approved a local law amending Chapter 250, Section 250-14 of the Village Code, and whereas the local law revised Village of Rybrook zoning code pursuant to planned unit development sites and created a new Section 250-7E6 under the Village Code to allow for redevelopment at 900 King Street, owned by 900 King Associates LLC for age-restricted and senior housing purposes. And whereas on September 14th, 2021, the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees approved the PUD concept plan proposed by 900 King Associates, and whereas under Section 250-7.E6, the PUD site plan approval is valid for a period of 18 months, with extensions authorized to be granted for periods not to exceed 6 months, and whereas the original PUD approved by the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees expired on March 15, 2023, and whereas on January 24, 2023, the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees approved a PUD extension for 6 months expiring on September 15, 2023, and whereas on February 27, 2024, the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees approved the PUD extension for a period of 3 months, and upon the filing of a properly completed application by 900 King Street Associates to the Westchester County Industrial Development Agency within the 3-month extension period, there shall be a further PUD approval extension for a additional period of 3 months. And whereas since the property owner of 900 King Street filed an application with the Westchester County IDA, the site plan extension continued for a total period of 6 months, thereby providing extension until September 15th, 2024. And whereas in a letter dated September 9th, 2024, the property owner has requested that the village board consider another site plan extension, now therefore be it resolved that after full consideration of this request, the Village Board of Trustees hereby approves or denies 900 King Associates LLC's request for an extension of the current site plan for 900 King Street for a period of however long the board decides, with the following conditions if the board chooses to attach any to its extension.
Thank you, Greg. I'm going to hold off on the motions till we have answers to those questions to fill in the blank spaces there. And we are joined tonight by a representative of the property. So, Mr. Veneziano, would you like to?
Good evening. My name is Tony Veneziano. I'm here on behalf of 900 King Street Owners LLC and Sunrise Development. You you know more than I do about the negotiations regarding the valuation that were settled with my client over the last year.
I don't think anybody can hear you on
They
tape.
can hear me. Can they hear me?
No.
It's the people in television land.
Is it on?
It's
We can
on.
hear you, but they can't.
They can't?
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm not going through that again. So, you know what happened with the tax and the valuation. We've submitted an application to the IDA. We haven't really responded. In the middle, 900 King Street Owners LLC was negotiating with Sunrise Development. And they've executed a contract, and they're probably about 2 of 3 months into their due diligence. They're working very hard. Sunrise Development is a publicly traded company. They have 240 communities in the United States. They have 40 new communities that they built over the last 5 to 10 years. They're very experienced. They've hired Perkins Eastman, who was their architect. They hired JMC, who was the prior engineer, and they hired myself. They've looked through all of the resolutions, they put together all of their budgets, and they're concluding that work, but everything seems to be checking out quite nicely. We had a call last week regarding the architectural application that's been pending at the ARB forever. And they're reviewing the plans to see if there's any modifications they want to make. There are a few. When they're done, I'll bring them to the village. We'll bring them to the ARB. I doubt we'll need an amended site plan because I'm trying to make sure we don't amend that site plan. And then we'll get to the ARB. We'll submit it quickly in the next 6 weeks or so. And it should take 1 or 2 meetings to get through the ARB. The IDA, they are independently going to track and pursue that. And at that point, we'll have to satisfy the conditions and then pull a building permit. We've spoken to the building, Mike Nowak, about how he's going to process the building permit application. And we'll track that, but those plans take a little while to get completed. So as far as the extension, they would like a year. Your planning board granted a year extension, I think on the 12th of this month. You've granted 6-month extensions. I'm just telling you what Sunrise would appreciate, because I don't think they're going to have a building permit ready within 6 months, no matter how fast they work right now, because they have to get through the ARB, get those approvals, and then we have to satisfy conditions, and those plans are not going to take a few months to develop. They're going to take a little bit of time to develop and a little bit of time to do the code compliance checking, either here in the village or if the village farms that out to the state agency and lets the state do it. So that's sort of where we are. It's in a better place than it was, and I think we're full speed ahead at this point.
All right, so just a couple of questions, comments, and I'll start it off. First off, I think our code under this only allows for 6-month extension.
Correct.
So that's the max that we're able to do. And we understand, first off, I just want to say I'm pleased to see progress. That knowing that an IDA application has been submitted, I know that there are comments due. Seeing that there is now a signed agreement with a partner to operate and build this. This is good for the community seeing this activity, because I know it's something that we've been at this a long time, as you know, and the local law was originally passed on January 6, 2021, but we had years before that where we were going through the EIS process. So this has been a long haul, and I'm hopeful that we are now starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, where we can see some activity begin. One of the items that we were going to talk about was the ARB, because that was the last remaining application due to the village as far as getting through the boards. That the original plan made it through planning, made it through zoning, made it through village board, never made it through ARB. And so, we were, to hear you say that they should have the application into ARB within 6 weeks, that's good news, and I hope that they will follow through on that.
There were not, back then, and it was COVID related, I was doing these meetings on my phone. There were not many outstanding issues.
Right.
It wasn't like Perkins Eastman didn't know what to do. There became an issue of value engineering the building, and was this the right building, and was it going to meet the market? There were other decisions, and Peter Duncan just said, hold on. So that's what we did, and now these decisions, we had an hour and a half call the other day. They're minor details to the site plan. They mean a lot to Sunrise, but are not complex changes to anything. So it should not be a problem at the ARB. And your ARB is, I think you have 2 new members, but it's quite qualified. I
Yeah.
just remembered from the last sparring with them, there's architect, they really had an attitude about everything.
They take their volunteer roles seriously.
Yeah, no, they were good.
And I wouldn't expect many meetings in the ARB. Hopefully, like you said, it'll be 2 meetings maybe that we can get this through. But I think for us to see that application to the ARB would really help confirm to the various boards, and certainly to this board, that this is now very serious and moving forward again, which is what we really want to see.
I just commented on the zoning part of that contract, but the negotiations took several months. It was a fairly substantial effort on both sides. So that's closed and the money's passed, and once they're through due diligence, it'll be full speed ahead. Right now, they're acting on their due diligence issues, but once they get through that, we'll be coming right in.
Great. And the other questions that we have related to this project have to do with the demolition. As you know, this project is located right next to the Blindbrook schools, or the high school, middle school, not all the schools. But when we've discussed this, and we've mentioned this in the past, we mentioned it through the EIS process of trying to time demolition with the closing of the school for the summer. And so I think we've spoken with representatives from Sunrise, with Peter Duncan as well, that it's going to be a lengthy process, potentially, of getting their own architectural drawings, being ready for construction. Demolition can be a separate permitting process, a separate process. And right now we're in September, the school year just started. If we could see demolition during the summer of this following year, that would certainly be ideal and something we would really highly recommend to your clients.
So even before they signed the retainer, I think I told Sunrise that they need to demo the buildings in the summer. Because their position was they wouldn't be ready to get a building permit, therefore they didn't want to drop the buildings. But there's certain tests on asbestos, et cetera, that they could certainly do. And then the demolition of that building cannot take that long. So I understand that as far as demo, it would be much better done June, July, August. And they know that already. And I'll make sure they know it. And when we come in with any of these changes, or as we start to work with the village during the construction process, you can just emphasize that. But I've already weighed in 4 weeks ago on that point. And there was another, during the process, you didn't want construction activity during like regents exams or final exams and such. And so they need to abide by that.
Right. And I guess it might be difficult for you to answer, but do you know approximately how long they're expecting the demolition process to last?
I don't. I can't believe it's 6 to 8 weeks. I think it's going to be harder to get longer to get the approvals required than it will be to take the building down.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're asking is, can they be parallel tasks?
There's no question we could start getting the other approvals for the demolition now while we're doing the other. They can run in tandem. So
That's what I meant.
We can do that, and they're the client. I can't demo the building. I understand they didn't hear they didn't go through what I went through and you went
Right.
through. So I'll try to get them to understand that between the arbors and the school district, they were very specific in things they wanted. They wanted the project to go forward, but they wanted certain mitigation, and this is relevant to the village that they're trying to become a member of.
Right, and this would absolutely go a long way towards, being good neighbors.
Yeah, I like it.
The school and the arbors, if they, and like Susan said, I mean, this absolutely, and you said as well, this can absolutely run in tandem, that there are things that can be done to get the process moving for the demolition so that it could occur during
Here's
the
something
summer.
I'll tell you. So I just use my fingers to get to March. So when I'm back here in March, we can have this same conversation and you can press this issue.
Good question.
I-
You shake your head. I was right behind you. I would like to see you come here in January and give us a status update. I mean, to give you a 6-month extension and not have no information, at least some progress reports, and wait that long would be
Unacceptable.
unacceptable.
Yeah, no, I can engage with your attorney. I can tell you, we have the ARB, the IDA, the demolition, and the construction. There's 4 topics. I can give you monthly memos. I mean, it's in our interest to get moving on.
Right, and like the board has stated, we're looking for a demo in the summer. So we have to be confident that you're going to do that. That's going to take place in the summer. So by these progress reports, I mean, is big. Is a big, gives us that
So here's something, but.
vote
well, even
that you
though-
want.
Look, there won't be change of circumstance. It'd be hard to deny an extension, but in March, you can make that extension uncomfortable until you can secure a commitment that the building's coming down in June, whenever school ends. Do you follow what I'm?
No.
This extension, so we get this extension tonight till March, right? And in March, I have to come back for the same another extension, because I will not have a building permit in March. At that point, you can say, look, you can secure their commitment to demo the building.
Well, maybe we say, well, you don't get another extension until you have a demolition permit in March. Well, that's fair.
Well, I don't,
Well, you know,
The point is, we don't want to wait 6 months
could be
to hold
holdups
you
on
to the
our end.
fire.
There could be
So that
holdups
is
on
why
our
we're trying to be
So why don't I
thoughtful
Yeah.
about our discussion now and letting you know that we really would like this to go through. You would
May I
like this to
make a
go through.
suggestion? As an attorney, I think it would be wise if you come before us long before the extension is needed,
all right.
and you get your clients to join you, so that if we have questions, we're not asking an attorney to try to explain certain things. Make your clients understand that they are going to have to feel the heat if they want an extension. It gets diluted tremendously when we yell at you and you go back and say, they weren't happy. But don't worry, I'm a good attorney, I can get things done. I want your clients to understand how important it is to us that the demolition take place over the summer. And if there's testing that needs to be done for asbestos, let them start it now. No excuses.
Good suggestion, thank you.
You know, this is, obviously, I was looking at the resolution, it's been going on for extension after extension. I mean, I get it. Financing, things happen, negotiations fall through, but it's been dragging. You understand how we feel. It's been
I feel the
frustrating.
same. No, yes, I do understand how you feel. I mean, it's too much, too long.
Yes, yeah. It's
Is
like-
there a deal? I mean, it's inked already through Sunrise?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
done?
Yes.
Final.
Yeah.
In due diligence, about 8 weeks, so it's
So what does that mean
means the
exactly?
contract. If I'm right and it's 8 weeks, it means that July 20th-ish, they sign the contract, put a significant amount of money down payment. They have a 12-week due diligence period.
All right, so to rescind or
There's 4
something?
more weeks of that.
Right.
So
Those are my
that's-
rough numbers. I
So
think I'm-
basically, a shorter extension would work also, so that way we could make everybody see and we could all be on the same page, and perhaps they should come here and we should have this conversation while they're here too.
Well, look, you could do a day extension. I'll come tomorrow, but it seems to me that 6 months makes sense. But I can come back with them in 6 weeks. I mean, we can set up private meetings or a public meeting. Either way, I can talk to them about this. I'd suggest we get past the due diligence so they can clear their minds,
That's another month.
right? And then we can come in, I'll talk to them, they're a new client, and they're a publicly traded client. They're a substantial client. So I'll ask them if we could come in the first few weeks of November or something, and we'll come to your board. If you'd like, I'll ask the mayor if he wants a private meeting or a public meeting.
Yeah, we'll go through the village administrator.
Right.
and
He's not here tonight.
our-
But I think that's a
Right.
good idea.
Council.
I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
They'll have made another step towards the
I
commitment
do
by
too.
getting through the due diligence. They can come in with our ARB plans, whatever we have going
Right.
on. and we can
I
sort
think
of-
it should be a public meeting.
We'll see.
could do
I'm
both.
not making
Let's,
that decision.
when,
tonight.
yeah, when Chris gets
Well-
back, we'll
I'm
also,
not making that decision.
Private allows for the public. The
Yeah.
public
Well-
doesn't.
but we will,
Once it's
we will communicate this with Chris as well, too.
I think we need to see where everybody is and have a meeting of the minds of everybody moving forward. And I don't think it's a bad idea for them to meet with us as well.
Yeah,
Just-
thus far, they've only basically been dealing with the mayor and myself. I think they need to see the entire board.
Well, Sunrise hasn't dealt with anyone.
You know, I think they need
Fair,
to
it's
hear
a-
what the
it's a
entire
handoff.
board has to say, because we represent 2 votes. You need at least 3 to get anything done.
Right.
And so there are 3 people who basically have been silent vis-à-vis your
Yeah,
client.
but look, on the issue of whether you can deny this extension, we don't want to have that conversation. I mean, there's very little change in circumstances. So, but that said, you still have the right to know what's going
Yeah.
on with the project.
Exactly.
And
Right.
I want to facilitate that communication. That's rather simple for me to do. I think even the 6 months makes sense, because if you don't give 6 months, you're just going to go right to that contract, because Sunrise will, I'm just telling you what I'm going to hear tomorrow morning. When, when the planning board gave me 12 months on the 12th, Sunrise wasn't happy. I get an email at 11:30, I was hoping for 18 months. Okay, so that's just sort of who you're talking to and what they're used to and how they're used to interfacing with communities across the country. It's a very substantial,
I don't think they realize how much time has gone by already.
Also, if
Sure
they
you
had
do.
been at the planning board, they would have thanked you for getting them 12 months.
no, I understand, I think it's gonna work, I think the 6 months works, but I'll come in 3, I'll be back here in 90 days. It could put me under a time limit, I'll come back every week.
But if we give them,
So
time,
what
then
I'm
we
gonna
can't get
what
them
I'm
to
gonna
move.
propose then is a 6-month extension with monthly progress reports sent to the village administrator,
Okay?
and for
A meeting.
a few representatives and I don't want to put constrictions on this. A meeting, a progress meeting, sometime probably after the new year.
3 months. After
3 months.
After the 6
I want
months.
3 months from now
December.
is late December. We're not meeting.
Right, January's first week
That's
in
why I'm-
yeah,
January.
but
That's why I'm
I always feel like we
suggesting
kick
right
the
after the new
can
year.
down.
The road, yeah.
But a progress meeting right after the new year,
Okay.
Um,
with some representatives, just of where they stand, what's going to need to be done before another extension is potentially granted in March.
And what, that meeting will be a public meeting, what are we doing?
I don't want to determine that just yet.
We can also communicate
That's
with
more of
Chris.
a negotiation. If
should
we want to have a
communicate- we should
public
communicate
meeting
without Chris.
afterwards, that's fine, but that first meeting should not be like
Yeah.
this. They will not be,
All right.
clients will be quiet at that type of meeting in public. They'll talk during a private meeting, but they're not going to speak.
Well, that's something the board will have to discuss, right?
Yes, and it's something that we'll communicate
Yeah.
with Chris as well, too.
Yeah.
It's not something, yeah, I agree, it's not something.
Well,
We need to know that they're moving forward.
And Mr. Biziano, while they're chatting, just a recommendation as well too. I know you said your clients wouldn't want to speak at a public meeting, but I think that it could also go and build some great goodwill with the board if they at least showed up in that way. As Trustee Heiser said, Again, you're a great attorney. I'm sure we're going through you, but I think that'll mean a great deal if they came here, at least in person. Even if they don't say anything, I mean, it would be nice if they did, just so they can hear from them directly. I think that would go. I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of them, and they could speak, of course, for themselves, but I think that would go a long way to addressing some of their concerns if they were at least here in person to at least be able to speak to them.
Fair enough.
Or at least consultants.
Attorneys are silver-tongued orators. I like to hear from the clients.
I'm not offended.
Yeah. And
All right.
I think it'd probably be easier for them to grant you an extension if they're here as well. At least they can at least speak to them and ask them any questions.
So let's hear it out again.
All right, Ralph, can you?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the resolved portion would be resolved that after the full consideration of this request, the Village Board of Trustees hereby approves 900 King Associates LLC's request for an extension of the current site plan for 900 King Street for a period of 6 months with the following conditions: submission of monthly progress reports to the village administrator, and a progress meeting with representatives of 900 King Associates, including the principals, in January 2025.
Mid-January 2025. We don't want to see you January
I think in
29th.
January.
January is fine.
January's
You don't want to put
What's the first meeting in January?
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now. Just give me 1
yeah,
second.
by the first meeting in January, that's right. Put a date on it.
14th.
14th.
All right, the
I
14th.
would say
Mid-Jan.
on or before January
Yeah,
14th.
very good, thank you.
That sounds good.
Thank you, Ralph.
Perfect.
Okay. Good?
Well,
How about the file
Better.
with the ARB?
is it 100%?
Yeah.
Submission to the ARB. The truth is,
Would
There's
you
not
would
much.
you be agreeable to us putting a 3-month clause on the submission to ARB?
they were very close.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we just have to get it, we'll get it done by then. 3 months is fine.
3 months.
So by December.
Or let's just say end of
Okay.
year then.
Okay.
Yeah, end of year, because that's December. So end of 2020. Whatever. Something like that.
Yeah.
What's the date?
He's writing it up.
End of 2024.
For ARB.
So
by December 31.
31st. Yeah.
In-
And that's for the submission. We're not expecting it to be through the
No, no, no. And
process.
so, all right, are you finished with those conditions? Could everyone clarify?
Well, you should.
Yeah, please.
On the demo, right, you want me to sort of chart out what we have to do pre-demo, so that it's just a matter of how much money it costs them to deal with. It's just a business decision for them, right? Because some of those things could take a while, DEC,
Oh, yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that's
We
why
know
we
that.
want to start it in advance.
but I've got to start now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, by
It's
charting
advanced.
out what's going to be needed, what permits are
And so we'll
needed.
tell
what-
you, and then you'll understand it. So, okay, I'll start to keep this as a current project.
Yeah, and that can be
It's
as,
been dormant for me
and that
forever.
can be as part of a report next month or
Yeah, yeah,
some,
okay.
saying these are the steps that are going to need to be taken. But obviously, you need to let your
And then
client
we'll
know
build
this.
it.
Right, knowing that
'Cause
there
they
will
may
be
not be-
delays.
They
I
may
mean,
not be familiar with Rybrook code and the permit process within Rybrook. And obviously, some of this will come down to the village to make sure that we're doing what we need to do on our end to process permits in a timely fashion, make sure that you get on the ARB agenda in a timely fashion, all of that.
And the demo permit's separate from the building permit. That's because that building permit may take some
One
time.
destroys and one builds.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to combine anything.
Right.
Have a motion?
All right, can I?
No, not yet.
Okay, so it would be approval of the resolution for a period of 6 months with the following conditions: submission of monthly progress reports to the village administrator, a progress meeting with representatives including principals of 900 King Associates LLC, which, just to be specific, that would not only include Peter Duncan, but it would include representatives of Sunrise.
And Sunrise, no, that doesn't, so just say Niners are King and Sunrise.
And
They're two
Sunrise.
separate entities.
Got it.
Correct.
As contract vendee. Sunrise.
Right, and where, it's not just your progress, it's where are they? We want their progress.
What is my progress? I'm just a functionary here. It's
Okay.
all about their progress.
On or before January 14th, 2025, and submission of an application to the ARB by December 31, 2024.
So there's an application pending, so just say a submission, because that ARB is
Submission.
still pending.
But
Okay.
ARB is what you said, submission.
So
Yeah.
submission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Submission to the ARB by December 31,
But an
2024.
updated,
Okay, and these are-
updated.
Good with this?
Okay.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I think. Any further, I think we're.
No, there's no further comment.
Oh, right. I would also, we're not putting anything in, we're not putting anything in the resolution, obviously, but in the interest of being good neighbors, and I know this was some comments that I gotten from outside, and from other board members, we would respectfully ask that the owners be good neighbors and to the extent allowable, allow parking.
All right, so at some point, they stop letting people park there?
Correct, yes.
Who wants to what people are we parking?
Oh, I think it was
Residents of the
mostly
arbors?
school.
Mostly
No,
students,
schools, yeah.
students of Blindbrook High School.
Okay, so I'll let you know their answer.
Yeah,
to that.
yeah, it had been going on in the past. I know for a period of time they had allowed it. They may still be allowing it for all I know. I don't know whether it is or
Fair enough.
not. So,
Can we charge?
No,
No.
Wasn't serious.
you weren't serious?
Charge, Peter, I got $25 a day. Sorry.
but all right, we have a motion and second on
Yes,
the
we do.
motion as read.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Heiser?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino?
Yes.
And Mayor Klein?
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll
See you soon. See you often.
yeah.
I missed you.
We appreciate it. Moving along, resolution number 2, considering the use of village streets on Crossway on October 13th, 2024.
Yes.
Well, first we need the resolution read.
I was gonna make a
Hold on,
joke.
one second.
One second.
I gotta read the resolution.
Move it to the side. Move it
Okay.
to the side.
Can you guys see me?
Okay, we need the resolution, one minute though.
Computer slow.
Okay.
Sorry, I got it. Whereas the Village of Rybrook has received an email dated September 19th, 2024 from Jessica, how do you pronounce this?
Yablo.
Yablo, thank you, of Crossway requesting the use of village streets for a pumpkin carving party to be held on Sunday, October 13th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And whereas the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees is supportive of this proposed pumpkin carving party, now therefore be it resolved that
Spell pumpkin wrong.
Okay, I'll make note of that. That the use of Candy Lane on October
Not Candy
13th.
Lane.
Crossway.
Crossway, yes, thank you.
Crossway.
Yeah, that's what you're pointing out to me. Thank you, Mayor.
That's right.
October 13th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. The proposed pumpkin carving party is hereby approved with the terms to be established by the Rybrook Police Department.
Thank you, Greg. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Please.
Well, I was gonna make a joke that my kids that are in 7th grade might be parking at 9 King by the time this project gets underway, but I was gonna.
We hope not.
I hope not too. I'm glad that's moving forward. So yeah, no, every year we do a pumpkin carving party. I teach at Ridge Street, and I have a lot of kids that come. But it's a little safer, especially when it gets dark, if we have the street closed. That way, if kids are running from my neighbor to across the street, that it's closed. So that's pretty much it.
So so they carve the pumpkins,
Yeah.
and when it gets dark, they put candles in there, and you
Yes.
take pictures.
Yeah,
and
we've done
okay.
it like every year, but
Okay.
since I started
That
teaching
sounds
in
fun.
Rybrook.
All right.
Fun.
And then so my students come, and obviously now I have 3 of my own kids. We did it before I had kids when I first started teaching here, and now I've been doing it for years. So it's been primarily in our backyard, but my neighbor who's actually EMS, EMT, he's been like a little worried, like kids running across the street, and people kind of sometimes drive through quickly because it's Crossway. So I figured we can ask just to put up the barricades for those hours.
All right. I guess Greg will all the safety precautions necessary, like water, fire extinguishers, and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And my son's a
Buckets
Boy
of water.
Scout, and
Oh, good.
they're very good about using.
Right, and you'll work with the police department
Correct.
on all of
Yes.
the, because typically, a lot of times what's said is just, we have to be able to make sure that there's emergency
Emergency, yep.
vehicle access through
Totally.
there, should they need it.
Makes sense.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
No, I just have one. Is there going to be a rain date just in case there's bad
No,
weather? Just to double check.
unfortunately, we're a hockey family, and we're traveling for Rye Rangers the next couple weeks, so it's not that date.
Okay, understood.
That's it.
All or nothing, all right,
Yeah, all or nothing.
all right.
Trustee Epstein,
Yes.
Trustee Heiser,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein.
Yes.
Have fun and
Thank
take
you.
pictures.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
I know we're very excited. Thank you
Res-
guys so much.
Janan, this should be a fun event to see.
Resolution number 3, considering a renewal agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Capital Market Advisors for financial advisory services.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook utilizes the services of capital market advisors to prepare certain required filings related to bonds, and whereas Capital Market Advisors offers services for bond assistance and has prepared a proposed renewal agreement with a fee schedule detailing various bond services from date of approval through May 31st, 2026, and whereas the Village of Rybrook seeks to enter into the proposed renewal agreement, now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby authorizes a proposed renewal agreement with Capital Market Advisors for bond assistance services according to the fee schedule designated in the agreement through May 31st, 2026, subject to modification by council, and be it further resolved that the mayor and village administrator are authorized to execute and deliver all documents necessary to accomplish the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you, Greg. Can I have a motion and second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board?
No.
All right.
Looks like we need that.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. I'll just provide very briefly again, just so you guys understand it, in case you don't. They help out with anytime you do any put out for bonds. They're not bond counsel, but Trish will rely on them for bond guidance. And when we do continuing disclosure forms that we're required to do, that they'll also assist us with that as well. So just a little
Great. Thank
backstory.
you.
No problem. Trustee Epstein,
Yes.
Trustee Heiser,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein.
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 4, considering an agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Dover Fueling Solutions for software upgrade for village gasoline pump stations.
Whereas the Superintendent of Public Works recommends the upgrade of the software for the village gasoline pumps due to the current software no longer being compatible, and whereas Dover Fueling Solutions of 3841 Jarrett Way, 1212, Austin, Texas, has proposed an agreement to provide upgraded software to make the Village of Rybrook gasoline pump stations compatible with the existing server. And whereas the Village of Rybrook is interested in accepting the proposed agreement, now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Dover Fueling Solutions of 3814 Jarrett Way, 1212 Austin, Texas, to provide upgraded software to make the Village of Rybrook gasoline pump stations compatible with the existing server subject to modification by council, and be it further resolved that the mayor and village administrator are authorized to execute and deliver all documents necessary to accomplish the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you, Greg. Can I have a motion and second,
So
please?
moved.
Second.
Is Dover the only one that does this kind of software?
Smart.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I know Michael found them, but just to give a little bit of backstory to this. So when we're talking about the village gasoline pump stations, those are for our stations at our highway garage. But the current software that we have is no longer compatible with the existing server, something that Fred updated. So we need to move to a cloud base so that way it'll be compatible with the server, so that way our gasoline pumps will be able to be functioning.
Great, thank you, and we thank Michael for finding
Do we know how
the
much it is?
solution to this. I'm sure, I'm
Do
sure
we know
it's
how
the
much
best
the
price
cost
we
is?
I was
can
going to
get.
say,
There is
Michael
no
found
cost
that
in there.
it's the best price.
Yes.
All right, we already have a motion second.
Yeah, we do.
Correct? All right.
Okay. Trustee Epstein?
Yes, I just want to know how much it is.
Let's see, it doesn't say.
It's not on there.
Yeah, it doesn't have it in the,
Invoice and collection costs, it doesn't give any 30 days. Why isn't there?
I don't see it.
Usually
don't see
there's
that.
an agreement where it says what it is.
Agreement 12 months commencing, but they don't give
And what was the previous agreement? So that's now negated?
Don't have one as for a previous agreement with them because it's a new software. It's a new company for different software. Yeah, it doesn't
Payment
say it. Yeah.
here, periodic charges in advance, due in full, 30 days.
So we didn't select the plan yet, it looks like. It says subscription services, pricing, features, and options depend on a plan,
Right, so it may not have.
but payments,
Yeah,
it tells you how to pay, and
But I will follow up with Michael. Unfortunately, he had to leave for tonight. But I'll follow up with him just to clarify exactly.
Yeah. So do we need to
yeah, what
do
plan
this
is he
again?
getting? What plan are we getting?
And how do they differ?
Well, I
Yep.
certainly have faith in Michael to have
Yes.
found the best price, and faith in Chris and Trish to make sure that this is within what they had budgeted
Yes.
for it.
But what I will do though
Refunds.
is that once I follow up with Michael, I will communicate with all of you, probably through group email, just to as a follow up.
Yeah.
With what plan and everything.
I can also, you're approving it subject to modification
Yes.
by council. I can make sure that any modification that I make includes adding the price to the agreement.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, so as
fair.
amended,
thank you.
Trustee Epstein,
yes.
Trustee Heiser,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein.
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 5, considering transfer of capital project balance to general fund to fund the building department scanning project.
What's that?
Scanning project, what's that?
That
That's
sounds
no, that's the chief putting away the table that we
Oh.
put out.
Oh, this is for that camera, virtual server infrastructure, no.
No, I'll explain that.
Interfund transfer.
Now therefore be resolved that the following budget transfer from capital fund and budget modification for general fund be hereby approved.
Moving money.
And so I'll just explain this briefly. So basically what we're doing here is that we're taking some money from the account that Fred no longer needs for IT. We're basically transferring over to the building department because we're trying to undertake a scanning capital project for them. Because as you know, they have a lot of documents. They have
Yeah,
quite
they
a
wanna
lot of
scan
paper.
everything?
Correct. So this is what this is for. It's for a scanning retention project for the building department. And we're transferring funds that Fred no longer needs.
Thank you, Craig. Can I have a motion second, please?
Motion?
Second.
Pretty straightforward. Thank you for the explanation. Any questions?
Mm-mm.
And again, I will mention it like I mentioned with all of these. We are very thankful to our budget and finance team. I think this is why we come back with clean audits and low stress.
Trustee Epstein,
Yes.
Trustee Heiser,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein.
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 6, considering authorizing the use of village streets for the Tamarack Tower Foundation Thanksgiving Day Turkey Trot.
Whereas the Tamarack Tower Foundation requests permission to hold its annual Thanksgiving Day Turkey Trot on Thursday, November 24th from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby authorize use of village streets on November 23rd, that's the right one, November 23rd from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. along the route described in the letter received September 13th, 2024, and be it further resolved the village streets shall be used in compliance with the terms and conditions established by the Village of Rybrook Police Department.
Thank you. Can I have a motion second, please?
Motion?
Second?
This is an annual event. This is
I'm sure I ask every year, what is a turkey trot?
it's to get it's in order to burn off, a lot of calories before you eat a lot of calories.
No, it's pre-eating.
I think it's pre-eating. It looks like it's on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
So
November 24th.
it is, yes, pre-eating. And I have participated in the past one year with my older son, and I have a feeling he's going to make me participate again.
Good.
So this is the Sunday before
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
sorry, November 20th.
No.
Yes, Sunday, yes, it's correct, Sunday, November 24th. Yeah, so just to clarify, so in years past, it was done on Thanksgiving Day morning, but this year they are doing it on the Sunday before. but
But this
it's
is-
the
Right,
24th.
it says Thursday, we just have to make
Yes,
sure it
I'm-
says Sunday, and, yeah.
That's a mistake of
Sunday,
mine, because I'm so
November
used to it.
24th.
I'm so used to being on Thursday, so that's why I made that mistake.
Yeah, and then,
It's November 24th.
well, right, and it'll just have to be adjusted here
that's
as
fine.
well.
Yep.
I'll fix that.
But a good event, I've never heard of any issues with it, so.
I didn't doubt that there were any issues. I just no idea what it was. And I'm sure next year I'll ask the
So
same
then it's
question.
burning off calories that you already ate. All right. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Trustee Epstein,
Yes.
Trustee Heiser,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Mayor Klein.
Yes, thank you. Resolution number 7, considering approval of the minutes for the meeting held on March 26th. Well, this is 24th. That's 26th here. 24th, 2024.
That's wrong.
Now, let me look back to March here.
Yep, same here.
It would have been the 26th.
Okay, so restricted to March 26th. Okay. Now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meeting held on March 26th, 2024.
Thank you, Ed. Can I have a motion second, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, administrators report.
Yes, just a few events that definitely want to mention because we have a very busy October coming up. But just before I do that, I just want to just give my personal appreciation for our highway department as well as our police department and as well as our volunteers who came out September 14th. I was the captain of the Rybrook site where we had an annual community cleanup where we clean up garbage on through Bowman Avenue, and also just to give a thanks to RPW Group, who's the owners of 800 Westchester, for allowing us to divert traffic onto their private road. Because again, it is a private road and it's not public, but of course I'm guilty of it too. We all use it from time to time, but I definitely want to thank them for helping the event go smoother. So in terms, again, of our busy October schedule that we have coming up, well, first I should also mention that mini golf, unfortunately, is canceled. Again, that was supposed to take place this Saturday, but unfortunately, due to poor signups, that is no longer going to take place. But our third annual pumpkin patch is going to take place October 12th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's going to be at Pine Ridge Park. On October 26th, we will have 2 events. We're going to have our annual Halloween in the park, where again you get to come and bring your dog, have it dressed up, and then we'll, amongst a few of us who are judges, we'll vote on who are the best ones. But it's definitely always a lot of fun, and definitely each year we have more and more dogs participating. I believe last year we had at least don't remember exactly, in the 50s. So it's definitely gotten more popular over the years. And I think, Sal, you were a judge in one of them.
Yeah,
with me
that's fun.
last year. Yes, I've been fortunate to be a judge last couple times. It's always a blast.
Those costumes are great.
Yes. Some of them are very creative. I'm always surprised each time. But then that same day, we're doing it for the second time. Last year, we tried it for the first time. It was a huge success for our trunk or treat. So we'll be competing amongst ourselves as village employees, but we're going to rely on the residents to help us determine, like last year, who is the best one. So no, that we'll be coming out there ourselves. We'll be organizing into teams, and then whoever is the best one, we'll have, of course, some bragging rights, and we'll figure out a little prize amongst village staff. But we need the residents' help for us to make that a success. So Recreation won last year, and they keep rubbing it in. So we're going to try to beat them this year. And on November 2nd, we're giving it a try for the second time. For scavenger hunts, unfortunately, in May we tried it, but we had to cancel low attendance. We're hoping not to do that again this year. So, again, please sign up. I know it's been done in the past. It's a fun event, and then that will also be at all these events are at Pine Ridge Park. Is where we hold all of them, for exception of the birthday. So again, that's our event schedule. I did want to mention something message regarding leaf seasoning, because that's going to be starting on October 7th. So it's just an FYI for residents, and again, we'll be posting out notifications as we get closer. But starting on October 7th up until around December, so about the 12 to 13 week program that is run by Michael Nowak, our Superintendent of Public Works, as well as with our Highway Department staff. And then again, you leave your leaves out in the front lawn, and then our highway staff will come in our vacuum truck and suck it up. On the website is where we have a notice with all the stipulations that we ask that the residents just please abide by to make this process go by smoother. And we're hoping to get there potentially during a peak season, about once every 3 weeks. Of course, it's all weather permitting, dependent on what the weather forecasts are for this day. I know that Michael Nowak and Jess Carpentieri, who's his assistant, have an Excel formula that they use to determine when they get to what street. But that'll be again on October 7th is when I'll be starting until by the end of December. And just the last thing I just wanted to mention real briefly is regarding a Sustainable Westchester, our new Westchester Power ESCO agreement that's coming into effect November 1st. I will talk more about that later, but the letters did come out. I know I think pretty much, have you guys probably received them at this point. So again, if you have received it, again, please, again, do not throw that out. Please read it. Again, it's very important regarding our ESCO agreement that starts on November 1st. Again, with the village, we've decided to opt into the 100% renewable green energy program. However, again, you may choose to opt out of the program if you choose to do so. Just please be aware that if you do so, it may take a billing a cycle or two for that change to be seen on your monthly bill. And again, Con Edison is still going to be the supplier. That does not change. And they will still provide regular service to you whether or not you are in the program or not. And again, this only deals with electric. This does not deal with gas in any way. But again, starts November 1st, and it's till next year. It's a 1-year program. I know in the past it's been 2 years, but this time it's a 1-year green renewable energy program. Again, it's designed to, of course, promote green renewable energy, but everybody does have the choice of whether or not it's the right program for them. But just, again, the letters that come out, just please be aware of that for November 1st.
Great, thank you. Do we have any comments from the public? Seeing none. I would also like to just say one other thing. Within the village, those who aren't aware, the Blindbrook High School band is performing the national anthem at the Yankee game tomorrow night.
Oh,
And we wish them all the best of luck.
very nice.
The next meetings of
One other thing, congratulate the school for the Blue Ribbon Award.
and we congratulate the Blindbrook schools for, I believe, once again.
Yeah, this is right. That's
being
right.
named a 2024 National Blue Ribbon
Ribbon
School, which 356 schools were recognized as by the Secretary of Education, the U.S. Secretary of Education. And so we say congratulations to them
Congratulations.
on them for that as well. And the next meetings of the Board of Trustees will be on October 8th and October 22nd, 2024, and we wish everyone a good night.
Good night.
Nice.
For those who celebrate, Happy New Year.
Yes.